If you're new to Excel, rule number 1, shortcuts. Rule number 2, remember rule number 1. All right? Shortcuts is going to make your life so much easier. Shortcuts, for example, here's a shortcut right here, Ctrl+Shift, and we can use this $sign. We can use this percentage sign. What does it do? We can convert information instantly using the Ctrl+Shift $sign, and your format's going to change everything to a dollar format or percentage. There are hundreds and hundreds of shortcuts. I'm a Pareto law kind of guy, 75%, 25%. There could be hundreds of shortcuts, but you're only going to remember a few. And I'm not going to harp on what ones you want to use, but that's the discussion today. That's what this video is all about. Fast and easy ways to apply Excel number formatting with Control+1. That's another shortcut. Here we go. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. Section 2.14, fast and easy ways to apply number formatting. Number formatting, this is going to be a big session here because we're always formatting data. In other words, you have a number. In the previous session, I showed you how to change time using the different tools available. Here, we're going to be looking at a lot of different ways to change the formatting. Number formatting affects only the appearance. So, for example, if you want to go 12.45 and you want to make any changes to that, it just affects the appearance, not the number. You go equals 1 plus 1. Any formatting you do won't affect this formula. Keep that in mind. For example, a date formula, in the background, it's just a serial number. So we're going to change the appearance. The date is still the date, the formula is still the formula. When we're formatting information, it's just an appearance. As I've mentioned, you have a lot of different options with that accounting and the general and the date and so on and so forth. So home, number, and you can do this a couple different ways. You can go up to the general box. You can format a particular style this method. You can go individually into each one of these icons or tabs. You can hit this drop down arrow and it'll take you to whatever format you need. So we have general, number, currency, accounting, date, time, percent, fraction, scientific, text, special, custom. I'm going to go over these quickly. There's just too many and it's too detailed to get into the depth of each of these. So you're going to need to experiment with each of these. So there's a couple other ways to navigate through this stuff, and we'll talk about that next. How to use shortcut keys to format numbers. I've emphasized the importance of the shortcut keys, Control+Shift plus the tilde. The tilde is the number just below, on the far left, just below the escape key. Generate general number format that is unformatted values. Control+Shift $sign. It will change your number to currency, so 45. And then I hit Control+Shift $sign, and it changes to 45. Control+Shift percentage will change that 45 to percent. Control+Shift caret. The caret is just this upward insignia. That changes to scientific. Date format, Control+Shift $sign, changes that to 2/14/1900. Why? Because it's the 45th day of this series. If I want to change that to, it went to 45. If I go to 45,788, and then I hit Control+Shift £, May 25th, 2011. Here I hit Control+Shift tilde, it takes me back to 45788. Go to 47, let's go to 49,800. So that's whatever, 49,800 date since the series started. Control+Shift £, and that's 2026. The format here is, it's set up to custom. So go to date, short date, and it goes 5/5/2036. Control+Shift @ time format with the hour, minute, and AM or PM. So we can go 45, let's go 47, 833, just some random number. So hit Ctrl+Shift @. That's 12 a.m. It just goes to this custom format. So if we go to long date, it's going to go Monday, December 16th, 2030. You're going to need to go to custom. You're going to find some series that works for you. Hour, minute, change this to whatever you want. But this Ctrl+Shift @ is not that effective. 2 decimal places, 1000 separator. So if you go 45, you want decimal, so Ctrl+Shift £, and there you go. So there's a quick review of a few shortcuts that will make your life a little easier. How to format numbers by using the Format Cells dialog box. Again, we've been going in and out. We've been bouncing around into this dialog box. And I've showed you 3 different ways to format your numbers. Dialog box is the format we just went through. So you go to Home, Number, hit this down arrow, and that's the dialog box. You're going to need to experiment with this. You can see alignment, font, border, fill, protection, number. You can see general accounting techniques. So I went through the number, I went through currency. There's the accounting format. There's the date format. You can change this to any format you want. You can customize it. If you want to customize this, you want to go into custom, and then you can change this to anything you want. Anything. Okay, it could be date. It could be a serial number. It could be time. You have those options, but the standard format is if you want to change your date, you can customize it separately just by using any of these formats. You can use time, methods, you can use percentage, and you can change this to 00. You can extend this as far as you want. You can go to fractions, as we talked about earlier. You can go to scientific notation. That means anything, any huge string of numbers. I use the word string, and that's typically synonymous with text, but any long series of numbers, you can use scientific. You have a text format. Be sure to check out our extensive courses, which include Excel data and text manipulation for advanced users, beginners, intermediate. We also have this great essentials, the A to Z for advanced users, the comprehensive beginner level 1 and 2. Then we have our advanced formulas, strictly formulas, great set of courses, which we have a beginner level 1 and beginner level 2, this intermediate level, and we have this advanced level. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. If I want to change this 45 to text, I just hit text. Now it's text. And remember earlier I mentioned if you identify something as text, it's going to move to the left. And notice up here, it's text. That can cause a lot of problems when you're calculating, so pay attention. If you have a series of data, you need to maybe add this stuff. There are some calculations that won't add this 45 because you thought it was 45, but it ends up being text. If it's text, make sure you hit general, and that's just a general number. If you want a number, you can hit number. If you want to hit currency, if you want to hit accounting, you have a couple different options. You can go here to $, and you can change it to whatever currency. You can change it to percentage. Keep in mind, this is what's really confusing here. If you want 45%, you have 45%. But here, if you hit percent, we'll look at it and calculate it incorrectly. So I'm going to go back to general. You see how that went to 0.45? And before we had 45. So 45, you would think, oh, I want 45%. And you hit percent sign, 4,500%. Keep that in mind. Change this, you need to put 0.45. So just pay attention when you're formatting your data. Percentage signs can get kind of nasty, so pay attention. If you want decimals, you want to change that to decimals, you can. And if you want to extend this, or if you want extend, or if you just want to go back to 2. So this is your decimal to 2. You can extend it, you can shrink it, you can format it here, go format text, cells, number, and then I want to hit 0, use indicators. So then it will always be 45. You can play around with all of that general information. So that was just a quick overview of some of the general data information that is available. Using the formula bar as a calculator, we're going to enter this formula. We're going to use this formula here. What we're going to do is we're going to, because I have the space here that's not calculating, we have this basic formula, and all we want is the result. I don't want you to see this formula. I want you just to see the result. So I could do a couple things. I can go copy C. I can go Ctrl+Alt+V, and then I could put values. There you go. I have 12.6875. Hit Ctrl+Z, and that takes us back to the formula. The quicker way to do that is just hit F2 and then hit F9. Copy paste special, or F2, F9. Hit Ctrl+Z to go back to the original. If you don't want it to calculate, just put a space, and we're back to where we started. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.